you ready? Because you're making me mad.
Yeah, that's my job.
Welcome to 99 Adventures, the podcast where the campsite stories are all about the RV lifestyle. We're your hosts, Alan and Kim, fellow lovers of all things RV living. Here on 99 Adventures, we explore the highs and pickups of life on wheels, whether it's discovering hidden gems off the beaten path or tackling the realities of RV living. But we're not just about the travel, we're about the taste, too. In every episode, we'll cook up something special right from the RV kitchen or campsite. So get hooked up, grab your skillet, and let's hit the road. It's time for 99 Adventures, where the journey and the flavors never stop. Welcome to another episode of 99 Adventures.
Hola.
What's cooking?
It smells like cookies.
I know, it smells good, doesn't it?
Yes.
It does smell good. And it smells really good for the time of day it is. But yeah, we're making cookies and
Got some company coming in.
yeah. So we're trying to get ready for all that. We're going to give our top tips for working remotely while traveling. Just basically making remote work from an RV.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we have about 8 tips that we're going to run through on what we do to make it work. So here we go.
What we did.
What we did and what we continue to do.
All right.
Right? I guess we'll go step into it right now. Like you worked remotely here from the rig as well as I did at the same time. So
Initially,
yes, when we first moved into, and we did it for about 6 months. Yeah. But now, of course, you're just doing the work camping thing. Mm-hmm. But it still plays into some of this. Our first tip is to have a workspace with a view. In our fifth wheel, we have a Sandpiper 3800 RK, and this particular floor plan came with a desk, but we didn't really like the desk too much. And so we removed the desk that was in here and put a standing desk. And at one point we had 2 standing desks, but now we just have the one. And one of the great things, it looks out campsite. So when I'm working, I have a great view of our campground and
wherever we're at.
Right. The comings and goings, the wildlife. But one of the great things about this particular desk is that the desk that was in here also came with a chair. But that chair was only useful really for that desk. Mm-hmm. And so when we removed the desk,
Put it all in storage.
We use our bar stools. That's my chair for my desk. And it's a little elevated. And of course I can stand because it's a standing desk and it goes automatically up and down whatever level I need it at. But I just take the chair away and put it back at the bar top when the work day is over, and I just move it away and then I'm done, and it doesn't take up any extra space.
Right.
I know that not everybody has that dedicated space. You may just have a dinette area that you can work at, or we've seen people that do like a pop-up tent. I think they call it a wardrobe tent, and it's tall, and you can just go in there, set up a folding table and a camp chair and work from there as well. But other ideas, library.
Oh, yeah, like in the community.
Yeah.
Like you got, if you needed to be dedicated one-on-one type meeting with there's no interruptions, use your local library or a secluded park in a local park, like at a park bench or whatever. Yeah.
And libraries have like little rooms that you can rent. I know like the one here in Bayfield does.
To rent?
Yeah, or reserve.
Reserve.
Yeah. They even have like larger meeting space if you need like a little community room. I think they might charge for that, but there are places that have libraries that do have a little room that you can go into and do some work at or whatever. All the campgrounds we've been at pretty much have space there at the campground, like inside like the event center.
Yeah,
or clubhouse.
There's always some places you can sneak off and be isolated.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
be resourceful.
I think, yeah, that's part of it is thinking outside the box a little bit sometimes. Of course, there's also coffee shops and restaurants with outdoor spaces and things like that. I don't work that well in places like that because it's too distracting, because I'm too nosy. I want to know what everybody else is doing. But I prefer more of something that I can just kind of focus in on. But something else I was thinking of, but even if you're like close to a college or a university, they all have places that, like a student center or food court or something like that, you could always go sit in or whatever.
Well, you're not technically a student.
No, but
I
you
mean,
can go
you could
sit.
sneak in there, I guess. Yeah. Act like you're 19.
Yeah. Tip number 2, the daily grind. So when you're traveling a lot, a routine may be easier said than done. We thrive on that, which is why we pretty much stay put for a significant amount of time. And for me, because I'm the one working remotely, the focus is the 8 to 5 job. It's still an 8 to 5 job that I have to focus on. And so we travel on the weekends. We do activities on the weekends for sure. Sometimes we fit in stuff in the evenings or whatever, but I have a routine.
Yeah. And the routine is important. I mean, it doesn't fit for everyone, but for us, even when we were raising our kids, a routine mattered and it fit our lifestyle. And that's exactly the way we did everything.
Yeah.
Right. So this is no different in working remotely from an RV is, finding your niche, finding that routine and finding out what works and sticking with it. Right. That's
Yeah.
just what works for us. Now, not to say that's going to work for everybody, but hey, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah. I get up every day between 5:30 and 6, shower, get dressed, put clothes on, put my face on, hair, makeup, whatever, and walk the dogs or get them situated some days when he's also having to get up at the same time I am. And then I'm at my desk at 8 a.m. At my office, my company works off of Central Standard Time. So it doesn't matter what time zone I'm in. If it's 8 o'clock there, I'm at my desk, right? Work mid-morning. I usually take the boys for a walk, depending on meetings. And then it's just a quick lunch at my desk for noontime hour. And then again, I take the boys for another walk mid-afternoon, again, depending on meetings and stuff like that. And then I wrap it up by 5. Now, there are times that I do have to work over that or whatever, and I do that. But it's 4 o'clock for me right now because we're on Mountain time zone. But so sometimes I do work over, and he doesn't get off till 6. So usually if I'm done with work stuff, then I just transition over to our personal stuff and kind of work on that in those afternoon times. And you're pretty much the same way based off of your schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, he does sleep in most days.
I do not.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. Cookies. The last batch of cookies are ready. You sleep in, but
I sleep in a lot more than I used to.
Oh, yeah.
That's for sure.
For sure.
And I don't mind doing it. I mean, someone's got to do it.
Somebody.
So it may as well be me.
Yeah. Anyway, I do have a few additional tips to help with productivity. Reserve any kind of light work or administrative work for those travel days. So if you do decide to travel on a work day, I would do things like calendaring, brainstorming, researching, just catching up on emails, organizing files, that kind of thing. That administrative kind of work on those travel days. And back to this time zone, stick to your time zone. If your company is working out of Central or Eastern or whatever, that's the time zone you stick in so that there's no confusion on your part. You have your routine. For me right now, I'm at my desk at my current time. I'm at my desk at 7 a.m. But it's 8 a.m. for the rest of the team that I work with. Take intentional breaks which is usually what I use for the boys when I walk the boys. That's my time to get out, get some fresh air, do a little creative thinking, that type of stuff. You can also do step away for lunches, take a picnic, go explore maybe an area, that kind of thing. And then the other thing that I really do a lot is I block my time to focus. So if I'm working on a project and I need just to zone in on that, I block my time on my calendar so that I know at this time, that's when I have the opportunity to clear my head and just stay focused on that project. So those are just a few of my additional productivity tips I have to help me work and stay productive. All right, tip number 3, the signal struggle is real.
Internet?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's a big deal.
It is, especially when you need to
We
watch.
didn't realize, we always heard about having full forms of internet, and we've talked about this before in several episodes, I think, but we didn't realize how important it was until you get to a place where you don't have anything, and that's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
So we had to jump through hoops. We wasted some money getting some service that didn't pan out. I think we had it for a day. I canceled it. We went into Durango and went to T-Mobile. So now we're on T-Mobile, and it's super, super fast, and it's just equivalent to Starlink.
Correct. Both in price and performance.
Right. It's on the go.
Away. T-Mobile away.
T-Mobile away.
Yeah.
Is the new plan. All right. So, yeah.
And outside of Starlink, which has worked super well for us too. And there are some areas where the T-Mobile may not be that great, so you would have to rely on your Starlink. Mobile hotspot, of course, there's the campground Wi-Fi. For us, the campground Wi-Fi has not.
We've never found one that works ever. I mean, it's great that they have. It's a valiant effort, but I've never seen one. And I'm not saying that they're all like that, but I've never seen one work great, especially to work from home, where you're using or have the need for large sets of data that you're working with and downloads and uploads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Most of the park Wi-Fi is they just cannot handle that stuff. Not to mention it's unsecure.
Correct.
And that's a big deal. I used to work for the government, right? And so I'm looking at a lot of personal data and stuff like that, and the government is real big on keeping that stuff secure. And so, depending on the type of job you had, you may not even be able to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I also have a VM, virtual machine, that I need to get on, again, to protect the company's, what is the word? The company's...
data.
Well, their data, but also their, like what we do, what we create and things like that. I can't think of the word.
Proprietary?
Proprietary, that's the word. They're proprietary stuff. And they would probably prefer that we were always on the VM, but it's really slow. But I do try to make sure that, and that goes to our personal internet. I don't ever get on like public Wi-Fi's or anything like that, because I just like to stay secure on our personal. The other thing though, if you're having an issue, I mean, there are coffee shops and again, the public library. From what I understand, from what I've researched, most of them have pretty good Wi-Fi. So we'll see. But yeah, so T-Mobile, Starlink, and then your personal hotspot is probably the best options there. Tip number 4. Can you hear me now? This is all about communication. When you're working remotely, especially when you're, sharing a small space like a RV, communication is everything. Whether it's coordinating with your travel companions or staying connected with your boss, your workers, or your direct reports, keeping everyone in the loop makes this work. I personally, my team that I work with, they all know that I'm working, because I work in a hybrid sort of role. And so they all know that for a few months during the summer right now, I'm working remotely, and they all understand that. We just keep that line of communication open.
So are you talking about just transparency?
Yes. mainly, but also transparency between you and I and here in this space. Our communication, like who's got a meeting, who's going to be on a call, when do you not want somebody walking behind you, that kind of stuff, right? I mean, just kind of being open and making sure that you're communicating, hey, I've got a meeting, hey, I need some quiet time to focus, and then also keeping that communication open with your work team as well.
Yeah.
So where this leads to is just tip number 5, start with your travel crew when it comes to keeping that line of communications open. Syncing up on daily plans is a must. And I think we really did that a lot when we were both working for the rig. Making sure that we were both on the same page about who would be tied up when and that kind of thing. And if we need to make adjustments so that we weren't trying to talk over each other in a Zoom call or whatever.
Yeah, there would be times where I would go outside or she would go outside.
Yeah.
But depending on the importance of the meeting, the criticality of the meeting, if I was on the phone with a veteran or whatever, I could just do that from a picnic table. But if I was on a call with my boss about an eval or something like that, then probably a more intimate setting would be better for that. So it's just a coordinating thing.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And it wasn't perfect. We
No.
had some issues.
Yeah.
Most of the time it was me giving death stares his way to zip it. But here's some tools that you can use to help when you're both working remotely or working from the rig, even if it's just one person. Noise canceling headphones or headsets. So what I've gone to now is always when I'm in a meeting, I've got my AirPods on. And then, of course, I'm turning around giving someone a death stare to lower his reels on his phone as he's thumbing through while I'm trying to have a meeting. Because he doesn't use AirPods. When you're working remotely, the mute button is your friend. Please, 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 whenever you hop on a meeting, just make sure you go mute so that it's whatever's going on in your background is not disturbing the meeting and everyone else trying to hear. So use the mute button. Review daily schedules. Go through, what are you up to today? What am I up to today? How can we coordinate to make sure we're not in each other's space? And then, of course, just taking turns shifting those locations. So like he was saying, like he would go outside, take a phone call. I've gone outside, taken a meeting. But just so that it doesn't always fall on the one person to always be at the dinette or the shower stall or the closet to try and get some peace and quiet, right?
Right. Yeah. It takes some coordination.
It does. So the next tip, stay connected with your team. And I hit on this, just as important as it is to be open with your significant other that you travel with. You also have to be open with your coworkers and your direct reports. If you know you're going to be in a spotty situation, like reception-wise, I mean, just be open about it and let them know. Not having the greatest internet. That can happen if you're in a sticks and bricks, right?
Well, I think certainly on top of that, I think that just being patient, if it comes down to, hey, you planned a travel day and a last minute meeting popped up and that's a meeting that you cannot miss, then the other person's just going to have to be patient and figure that out. And
That's true.
Because at the end of the day, the work comes first.
Correct.
Right? So, a great deal of patience in regards to that and just kind of just go with the flow. There's going to be things that pop up that are not part of the routine and part of the schedule that one person or the other is going to have to make sacrifices. So,
yeah, for sure. I alluded to this already, but when we decided for Alan to do the work camping thing, once he found this opportunity here in Colorado, then it was my chance. I had to take the next step and have that conversation with my boss to say, hey, can I do this? Are you okay with the fact that I would be out of state for a few months. And so I scheduled a meeting with her, and she granted me the go ahead. But there was a caveat that if a meeting popped up that I needed to be at, then I needed to get back into Texas, and it would have to be
Yeah, an
on my
in-person
agenda.
meeting. We're talking
Like an
about in-person
meeting, yeah. If something popped up and I need to be in person, and actually something has popped up, and I've already scheduled a plane ticket back to Texas for something that I need to be in person. So it was just that open conversation, and she and I stay in constant communication, and she knows that I'm going to be back, and
So far, so good.
so good. It's worked really well. It's
Yeah.
just clarity,
Transparency.
yeah. So speaking of transparency, that's the next tip. Time zones and transparency. Even though we travel, I work off of Central Standard Time because that's my home base, and that's where all of my coworkers are at. So any Zoom calls, Teams calls, that kind of stuff is based off of Central Standard Time. Actually, both our computers, our personal computer and my work computer, are still in Central Standard Time. So there is no confusion. I'm not confused. That's what I work off of. And sometimes it is a little weird because, like, oh gosh, it's 12:30 and I haven't had lunch yet. But it's only 11:30. And it does get a little wonky there sometimes. Or I'm like, hey, aren't you supposed to be at work? But I'm looking at my clock on my computer and it's an hour ahead. And I'm like, and then I realize, oh, wait. He still has another hour before he has to go there. The other thing that I've tried to do is, for the team that I work on, is that some of those folks, they are doing in-person stuff. And so I treat this as a privilege. It's a privilege for me to be able to do this and have some travel time and be able to work remotely. So I've been picking up tasks for them so that and take stuff off their plate so they can go and have those in-person meetings, or they're having to do travel and things like that. COVID and all of that, 2020, and a lot of people went remote. But since then, a lot of companies have called or continuing to call people back into the office in person for it, even if it's just on a part-time basis. And so I feel blessed, really, to be able to do this, and to continue to have that opportunity. So I feel like the company's put a lot of trust in me, and I respect that. And I think I respect the time, and my work schedule is still 8 to 5. Like, that comes first, right? Not going to activities and all that. That is secondary, and it's our bread and butter. And that's part of it. I shouldn't dance around it, but we depend on my income. So just to be flippant about it and be like, oh, no, they don't know what I'm doing. No, it's still like you're in the office, right?
There's some morals and standards thing.
True.
So
True.
everybody's going to deal with that stuff differently. So
yeah, but anyway, I like to have my cake and eat it too. So I just feel like being respectful of the company's time and making sure I'm available always. Even if I do go off and, have a lunch or whatever, I'm always available on my phone, what have you. With everything that we've talked about so far, it's just not all work and no play, right? So you're in these beautiful places, you're traveling, you're seeing these bucket-worthy list spots that you wanted to visit, that kind of thing. I feel I'm a firm believer in just get the work done and then go have some fun, right? Plan around your work, not the other way around. Get your work done, get everything off the plate so that you can go and you can have fun and you're not feeling guilty, or you're not maybe stuck to a device or something, like always trying to check to make sure everything's okay or whatever. Just get your work done, then go and have some fun. Set boundaries. It can be easy when your work is right here. You're in a very small space, 200 square feet, 400 square feet, that it can be easy to be like, oh, let me just hop on and do a little bit of work here, there, whatever. But set boundaries, set schedules, log off.
just setting a routine. It kind of goes back to being in a routine and setting those, and those are your boundaries, right?
Right. But I think too, like, we have a dedicated desk space, and I do shut the laptop off and the monitor. But if you're not, like, clean up the space and put it away.
Yeah, and I think it would probably be a good idea to pan around and show like our setup, right? And then imagine we had the identical setup side by side. And the point of that is that it can work. It did work,
It did.
right?
All right. Just a couple of more things. Make time for fun on purpose. Schedule those activities, shut it down, make sure you're in work mode when you're in work mode, and then home mode when you're in home mode. And it just, those like activities help to keep you motivated, right? So that you can continue to do the travel and work remotely and not get burnt out, which is our final tip, which is avoid the burnout and just slow it down.
Yeah.
We're big on that.
I think that probably if I had to pick one thing that may or may not have been part of the list, we've talked about it, we've talked around it a little bit. I think if I had to pick one thing that is the most important thing about working remotely, because as Kim mentioned, being able to work remotely is a privilege all by itself, is being transparent with your employer, bar none, right? Because they can not have you work remotely as quickly as anything, right? So don't take it for granted and get into that routine. Be transparent with them about, hey, I'm going to be traveling that day. Letting them know, being a good communicator with them, first and foremost, is probably, in my opinion, is probably the number one tip. All right?
I agree. I agree.
So we're going to show our setup at some point in this video. Imagine though, the desk that she's going to show you, we had another one that was side by side. It was literally inches from the other one. And that's the way that we worked for how long?
6 months.
6 months? Yeah. So anyway, for those that think that it can't be done, or that you need another completely separate area, you really don't. You just have to incorporate a lot of the things that Kim has been talking about, the communication, the transparency, and being able to work together to make it work. When you see the setup and you think, oh my gosh, like they did that, right? Like we're scared about being separate rooms. It can be done side by side.
Yeah.
As long as you kind of find your niche, right?
I mean, people do it all the time in cubicles.
I know.
I don't.
But they're not husband and wife either.
Oh. Well, they work husband and wife sometimes.
Yeah.
I guess you're right about that piece.
Yeah.
Because you do get, like, when you're together all the time. And I think, though, if we want to hit on that a little bit, is we do things separated from each other. He's going to go play golf. He's going to go fishing or hunting, just stuff to get him out of the rig. And I go and do my other thing. I pretty much go on a walk every day. There are days I don't go because of scheduling of events or things that we're doing or whatever, but I try to fit in some exercise thing, so that I can just go and put in my AirPods, listen to a podcast, music, whatever, and zone out a little bit. And that's my personal time. And of course, Alan loves to go, and like while we're here, he goes fishing all the time. Every Thursday, he goes bowling with other folks here from the park. And then there's things like events here at the park that he doesn't go to, but I'll go to, like potluck. We have potluck every other Tuesday. I pretty much only go. But that's just kind of my time to get away. And then he stays here and he can zone out and listen to or watch baseball, at the campsite.
Yeah.
So we try to separate and give each other kind of space and time to do their thing. Another thing, and again, depending on your rig and your setup or whatever, this may not work, but pretty much every evening I go in the bedroom, for about an hour before bedtime, and I watch TV and he's in here watching TV, doing whatever, and here in the living room, and I'm in the bedroom. Again, we're not far from each other, but it is our little personal time to do what we want to do.
Yeah.
So that's how we make it work. And I think it works.
Yeah, it works. To each their own. Everybody's going to have something different approach. So.
We haven't wanted to kill each other yet.
No, not yet.
Not yet. All right. Okay, we're going to wrap this episode up because we've got a lot of stuff to do and I've got a lot of work to do. And anyway, so just like that, another journey comes to a close on 99 Adventures. Here's to RV life, tasty meals, yummy cookies, and the adventure still waiting for us.
Peace.
Enjoy your next adventure and bon appetit.